What up, y'all? This your boy Crazy C, and about to do a tutorial, man, to show y'all how to EQ some kicks and some snares. For those of you that had a chance to visit my website, I know I've been saying that I was going to start doing some tutorials on mixing and mastering. You know, I've been busy in the lab, man, doing a lot of mixing and mastering lately. Also, been busy in the lab creating some new beats, man. You know, just been feeling inspired this year to what I'm saying, get back in the lab doing beats as well, man. So y'all stay tuned on that, man. You know, keep checking the website, man. I'm gonna be uploading some new beats. Right now I have some of my classic beats. Um, they're a couple of years old, whatnot, man. Online, you can check them out. But I'm gonna be doing some new ones in the very, very near future, man. I got some hot stuff I'm cooking out, man. So if you checked out my channel, man, you got a chance to see all of my remixes that I've done from Wu-Tang Clan all the way to Outkast, to R&B stuff, to H-Town, to Jodeci, some of my unreleased stuff, man, that I done in the 90s, man, and early 2000s that never got released, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna start these tutorials. In this first tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to EQ kicks and snares, and then in subsequent tutorials, man, we'll get into the 808s, the bass, all the claps, percussion instruments, synths, and also the vocals. This is an R&B track that somebody sent me over the net. You know what I'm saying? If you need some mixing and mastering done for all your artists that may be checking out this video, if you need some mixing and mastering done, hit me up, hiphopmastering.com or mypromix.com. Right now I got a special going on for new customers, so be sure and check out the site. I'm not going to put this full track on the net because, like I said, this is a client's project and I don't want to put the whole project out there. So I'm just going to give you a snippet of how to EQ some kicks and some snares. And then, like I said, in subsequent videos, then I'll show you how to do basses and percussion instruments. It'll probably be a different track, saying, so I'm gonna do it track by track, but I'll try to give you a snippet of what this full track sounds like once I get done at the end of this video. All right, let's get the track started. You know what I'm saying? And I'm using the SSL plugins for this tutorial. Now, these settings will work on any plugin that you use. You just gotta apply the settings, all right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go up here, go to the EQ section. This is Pro Tools I'm working in. But like I said, it'll work with any DAW and any plugin. I'm using the SSL channel G. I like that because in the 90s, that's what I was familiar with working on. The actual SSL board. And these plugins, man, from Waves, man, they get damn near pretty close to the original. Of course, nothing is like the original, but like I said, these get real close. So let's solo this kick. This kick right here, let me turn it up a little bit so you can kind of hear it. This kick right here is what I call a soft 808. This is what I call it. Everybody has their own name, but this is what I call a soft 808 because of the harmonics that are in the kick. It's not like a real hard kick like you would get out of a drum machine or that you would get out of a sample kick that you sample from an old record, or for some of these kicks and snares that you get off the net, that producers have floating around out there, whatnot. This is like a what I call a soft 808. It's not the boomy 808, but it's like the little soft 808 because it does have some harmonic value to it. When I mean by harmonics, and I'm trying to use technical terms, what I'm saying, it has like just a tad bit of boom to it, but not much. It's soft, it's real subtle. If you listen to it and if you EQ it in the right places, you can get a little boom out of this kick. But for this purpose, I'm not gonna put any boom into it because that's not what it was meant to do. It was meant to just layer the 808. But for these type of kicks, like I said, you want to EQ them anywhere from 70 to all the way up to 90 hertz. 90 hertz is kind of extreme for this type of kick, so let's go to, I think we're going to be good at 80. And then this is your gain or your volume. This is how much of this particular frequency that you're going to boost it, all right? So I think I'm going to boost this one probably about 4 dB. I think 4 dB is going to be good for this particular kick and this particular song. Now, a lot of times producers that are new to the game, they'll get carried away. Man, I want my beat to bang. I want my beat to hit hard. So they'll overdo it, and they go all the way down here, and now you're getting into distortion. A lot of tracks I get sound just like this, believe it or not, and they think that this is hard. This ain't hard, man. This is distortion. So you want to bring this back down. You know what I'm saying? Bring it to about 4 dB, and then if you wanted to hit a little bit harder, you can always boost the output, and we're gonna compress it just a little bit. All right. And basically what the compressor is, just a quick overrun. I'm not gonna get real deep. Quick overrun of how a compressor works. All right. A threshold of negative 1.1 dB and a ratio of, let's say, 2:1. That's what I really wanted at. What this is basically saying, for once the frequency reaches negative 1 dB, once it goes over negative dB, every 2 decibel that it goes over negative 1 dB, you're only going to get 1 dB of gain for this particular ratio. If I was to boost it up here, let's say 3.3, that means once this signal right here goes over this ratio, negative 1.1, for every 3 decibels that goes over negative 1.1, you're going to get 3 dB of gain. All right. So essentially, when I'm going back down to where I really wanted at, 2.1, and let's start the track over because I ran out of beat. Like I said, for once this signal here goes over this threshold, which is negative 1.1, it's not very very heavy compression. This is very subtle compression. For every 2 dB that it goes over this, it's gonna give me 1 dB of gain. All right. So essentially, it's taking off 1 decibel for every 2 that goes into the compressor. The output is only gonna give me 1 dB for every 2 dB that goes in. Get it? 2:1. 1 dB for every 2 decibels that goes in. I'm only gonna get 1 on my output. And that's primarily how a compressor works. But that's just some of the technical stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get all deep with that. Really, it all in tunes to your ear. You know what I'm saying? Mixing, man, is a lot like producing. It's really an art. But the main thing is you don't want it to distort. You don't want your beats. I get a lot of beats, like I said, sounding like this. You don't want it to sound like that. That ain't hot, Doc. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back down to 4.0. You're gonna give it 4.0 of gain at 80 hertz for this particular sounding kick, and like I say, the ratio 2:1, and the threshold -1. Now the release is when the compressor disengages or when it cuts off. I want a quick release, so I'm going to do it probably like around 16 milliseconds. And for the SSL plugin, some plugins have an actual setting for the attack. SSL doesn't have that. It just has a fast attack or a slow attack. The attack is when the compressor comes on or when it engages, all right? For a fast attack, it's going to engage immediately. A slow attack is going to gradually come in. And for this particular kick, I want a slow attack. So the compressor is going to gradually engage, and then it's going to release real quick at 16 milliseconds. Long release means it's going to stay engaged a lot longer before it releases. I don't want that for this particular kick. I want it to release like real quickly. Like I say, this is just subtle compression. You probably won't even hear it more than likely until you hear the entire song with all of the instruments together. That's when you really, really hear it. You know, I'm a fan of subtle compression. I don't really like too much compression unless you really, really need it. Like if you got a wild vocal or something that's going all over the place, you probably want to compress it to keep it at a constant value. All right, so that's cool for that. Now for your snare, this snare, like I said, it's a pretty good snare, man. I'm not really going to do too much to it. I'm a minimalist at heart, man. When I'm mixing, I try to use less effects and less compression as possible. I only put it where it's needed to give it an added effect. Like I said, a lot of young producers, you come in the game, you want to EQ everything. You don't have to EQ everything. You don't have to put an effect on everything. Use it subtly, all right? Use it only where it's necessary. Now, this kick right here, like I said, it's a pretty good sounding kick. So I'm really not going to do much to it other than to make it a little bit brighter. It's kind of dull. So I'm going to brighten it a little bit by adding just a tad of high mid. Hear how that sounds? And I want it to be at, say, 3 kilohertz for this particular snare. And I want to narrow the slope or the curve. Some people call this a curve. Some people call this a slope. It doesn't really matter. It just determines the width of this frequency. You're narrowing it, so that it doesn't bleed into other frequencies when you're giving it a gain. So I'm gonna keep it, somewhere in this area right here, and I'm only gonna, give it like a 5 dB of gain because I think that's good for that particular snare. And like I said, basically you don't want to do too much. Now I'm gonna compress it a little bit harder than I compressed the kick because I want it to snap. Now, like if you want your snares to snap like pa, pa, more ratio, more threshold, it's going to give it to you. Now, you don't want to overdo it because you don't want it to snap too much. All right, but if you want it to have that nice cream, just pa, more threshold is going to give it to you. Watch. And more ratio. Hear how that is, but that's too much. You don't want to overdo it. So, I'm going to give it like a 3.0 ratio and threshold about 3.0 as well. And like I said, I already brightened it up some, so it's going to be nice and clean. Listen how it sounds when I put it in the mix. See how clean that sounds? That's the object of the game. You want it to sound clean, but at the same time, you want it to bang too. Like I said, banging comes in your adjustments of your level. And you don't want it to peak too much. Hear that? Take a listen. Hear how clean that sounds? That's what you want to achieve when you're mixing records. You want a clean sound. You don't want it to sound distorted all over the place. You can have it banging and not have it distorted. All right. Well, let's conclude this particular tutorial. Like I said in other tutorials, we'll get into the 808 and we'll get into the bass and so on and so forth. And then I'm going to give you a snippet of how this track sounds once I'm through with it. All right. And leave me some comments. Let me know what you thought about this particular tutorial, or if you have any other tutorials you want me to do, leave it in the comments section. And I'll try to get to it. Now keep in mind, man, I'm busy grinding in the spot, man, so I'm not going to be able to put one of these up every week, but I try to get them up as often as I can. And like I said, just leave me some tutorials of any other ideas or any other things that you may want me to put up, and I'll put them up. All right. And also, if you need mixing and mastering done, man, hit your boy up, man. I got a special going on for new customers. hiphopmastering.com, mypromix.com. Also, check out my beats section, man. I'm going to be uploading some new beats in the very near future. But check out the beats that I have on the site right now. You might want to, go ahead and lease a couple of those beats now, or even purchase some. I got some real good deals going on those as well. And for those of you that haven't heard of me, man, check out this entire channel, man. I got some of my remixes that I done for Wu-Tang Clan. I got some of my remixes I done for Outkast, some original beats that I done for 8 Ball and MJG, and some R&B stuff that I done for Jodeci and H-Town, man. So I've been in the game for a minute. I've just been laying low in my studio doing a little mixing and mastering for the last couple of years. But I'm feeling a little bit inspired to do some beats this year, so you're gonna be hearing some new stuff from me. You know what I'm saying? So just holler at your boy, man. I'm on Twitter at Producer Crazy C. And yeah, holler at you later. Peace.